Greetings, wrestling fans, and welcome to the first edition of the Ragin Wrestling Podcast for the year 2025. I'm one of your hosts, Ravishing Randy, joined as always by my good buddy, Rampage Ramsey.
What
Ramsey, what's going on, brother?
freezing my ass off here in fucking South Carolina. 22 degrees this morning, 20 degrees yesterday, and we got 2 to 4 inches of snow coming in on Friday. So
Lovely.
it's
Yeah, it's got a bit
great.
chilly. It's got a bit chilly down here in New Orleans too. I mean, we're dealing with temperatures in the 40s, not 20s, but
I'll be wearing shorts.
ugh,
If it was the 40s, I'll be wearing shorts. This is
not me, my friend.
this is well, normally no, I won't. But like right now, like when I get back in the 40, I'm wearing shorts because god damn, this is cold.
I'm gonna say, it's cold when, like, even though you have your heater on in the house, it still somehow manages to be in the low 60s in the house. It's like, Jesus,
Dude, they got the
fucking
heat.
cold.
We have the heater on. We have the heater on, and the temperature is like in the 50s in the
Yeah.
house. It is
Like,
fucking. It is cold as shit. It's so cold that yesterday I wanted to go try to smoke. I was waiting for the bus to get here to pick up the little baby girl, and I was outside. I was like, I'm gonna go smoke a cigarette. I was like, all right, let's go back inside.
yeah, you're hotboxing that thing. You're like, and done.
I like took 3 hits of that. I was like, you smoked that cigarette that quick? Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
It's
man.
cold. I ain't even gone smoke. I brought the boy to school, and went to the grocery store, came back, and I haven't. Like I ain't going back out there until I have to go pick him up. I'm good.
Well, I was gonna say, enough talk about how cold it is outside. If there's one thing that is red hot right now, that is WWE going into the year 2025. We are actually just a few days removed from one of the biggest events of the year thus far, and that is the Raw move to Netflix. So this past Monday, we had the debut episode, and a lot of people thought that it was going to be a grand spectacle, and boy, it was. You had a lot that kind of went down on the show, and at the same time, not as much as maybe we were initially anticipating. We only ended up with four matches on the night. There were a few that were originally advertised. It looks like got pushed to next week. But what were just some of your initial thoughts of the debut episode on Netflix?
What a difference from broadcast television, cable television, and streaming service. The camera it looked like it was freaking high def. The graphics never looked that great on Fox or with SmackDown or on USA. It just seemed like the camera work was more crisp, sharper, cleaner. Um, the whole feel of it, the arena was just really nice. The new ring mat, the new referee uniforms.
The
It's
the new ref uniforms look sharp. I love the different camera angles that they have. I especially love the drone shots that they got throughout the night. Some of those aisle shots that they had, like with the wrestlers coming down the aisle, or even like the camera above the entryway looking down on them as they're making their way through. Like, there were a lot of really cool shots that they put on display. And, Joe Tessitore in the Raw post game breakdown, so to speak, on YouTube, called the drone the little mini MVP of the night, just with some of the shots that they were able to capture. Like, I will say this: the shot of Jay Uso's entrance with the drone was pretty fucking badass. So I mean, no, they got a lot of really good shots throughout the night. The feel of it, the tone was really cool. Um, like, I think as much as the in ring action was kind of the star of the show, or just like giving those matches more time to breathe and not feeling confined to commercial breaks or hard outs or anything like that. The stargazing throughout the night was kind of a fun feature. I will throw shade at WWE for knowing who Danielle Fisher was, but not knowing who Will Friedle was. Will Friedle sitting right next to her. being on camera and not getting a single fucking acknowledgement. How can you not acknowledge Eric from fucking Boy Meets World or the voice of a lot of our favorite cartoon characters growing up through the years? I mean, come on.
Yeah, that was fun. I was like, damn, shade. That is shade.
And there was a moment when they were highlighting like some of the wrestlers that were at ringside. You know, they're sitting there highlighting uh Dakota Kai and Io Sky, and then like right next to them there was Shinsuke Nakamura, and like LA Knight's in the frame, and it's like they show all of them. They don't show LA Knight. Then they bounce to like some of the celebrities, and then they come back to LA Knight. I was just sitting there like, are they really gonna do my boy LA like that? Come on.
Yeah, it was funny. But I think that was kind of I think that was kind of like the funny joke about it, because they even went back. Who they went back to? Like what celebrity they went back to? They're like, oh, this. Oh, I guess our camera likes da da da. I can't think of who it was, but they went back to him like twice.
Was it Macaulay Culkin?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So it was just like
Which
so.
who? All right. Real quick with the fun, and then we'll kind of break down what went on the show. But like, who was probably the biggest celebrity surprise that you saw in the crowd? Because like for me, seeing Macaulay Culkin there was kind of cool. Like
Nobody.
I pop for Macaulay. I pop for Dan. I take that back because I probably pop for Danielle Fisher even more because I'm like, what is she doing there? I didn't know she was a wrestling fan. That was kind of cool.
Nothing really surprised me or really popped for him. Like, 'cause I think now it's people are more comfortable now saying that, oh yeah, I watch wrestling. I'm a wrestling fan. You know, what'd be funny is she's not the fan, but Eric is the fan.
Yeah, Will
Really?
Friedle and like brought her
Yeah,
along as
so
a
it's
plus
like,
one. And,
yeah, so it's just like, you know, it
it's like this bitch stealing my spotlight.
I,
What the hell?
but I just think that it's just I don't it wasn't like I'm not shocked at with the deals anymore. Plus, half the people that was on there is under has contracts with Netflix for movies or specials. So it's like, all
Mm.
right,
Yeah, I mean, big promotion.
it's nothing big or anything anymore. Like nothing pops me, you know.
You know, it's just kind of interesting when we talk about like wrestling being more mainstream
I'll tell you this,
nowadays.
I will pop for if Taylor Swift was in the fucking art. I'd be like, whoa, Taylor comes to WWE. Now that's huge.
Travis Kelsey is a wrestling fan, so you know
Might
there's a very
happen,
good chance you might see that soon.
might happen, but it's just like to see that would pop me. If she's in the stands with she goes to Travis Kelsey to a wrestling event, that would pop because I would not expect her to show up.
See, but I will say that like as much as wrestling has been more mainstream nowadays, I'd say even more so than it was in the Attitude Era. The move to Netflix definitely makes it more mainstream. I mean, like we've had ESPN covering what's
Oh
been
yeah.
going on in WWE for the last few years. This definitely kind of solidifies it as like, hey, this isn't like taboo. This
Well,
isn't, you know, like something you need to be embarrassed to be a fan of.
the last time,
It's out there.
the last time I was shocked about a celebrity or a big name person in wrestling was when Joe Tessitore is coming to the WWE. That was big. I didn't think he was
That
going to
that
go.
legitimized it in a way. Yeah.
To me, like when like announcer Joe Tessitore, because I think he's a S tier announcer, is going to WWE, which normally announcers you go from WWE to go to announcing.
Mhm.
You don't go
Or you
down. It's like a
WWE is
step
your
down.
launching pad to go
Oh,
elsewhere.
elsewhere. It's not like a
Yeah.
step down. Like to me, it's like it sounds like a step down. But like
Yeah.
he takes this role and it's like okay
I mean,
that was the more shock. I would say
he's still doing college football. He's still doing stuff on ESPN. He's
yeah.
still doing like boxing. So I mean, he's still actively involved elsewhere, but now you add WWE and him being a lifelong fan and getting to kind of live out that dream calling the action for WWE is pretty cool.
I actually what I was thinking about for Monday night was as much as I like Cole and oh and
McAfee.
McAfee. I would really love to see Testore McAfee. I think that shit would be hilarious. How Testore is so serious, and then just to hear Testore break, because McAfee will break Testore. You
Yeah.
know.
But I mean, the fact that we're going to be getting Tessator, Wade, and I'm thinking Corey Graves on SmackDown.
Oh yeah, I
Like,
think
I think that's still a good move. I don't think you break up the dynamic of Cole and McAfee just
no,
because.
I just saying like, I would like to see that once. Give me that once. McAfee and Testore, because I think that would be fucking hilarious. Because Testore
Well, let's
can be funny. He can be funny, and you
yeah.
get him with a jokester with McAfee. I think that should be
You
hilarious.
get to see, and I mean, I do like that you get to see more of that aspect of Joe Testator's personality with the WWE because he's so very straight laced and professional when it comes to football and
Boxing.
boxing and everything. WWE allows him to show a bit more of his character and personality. So, like, it is cool to kind of see Joe Testator in that different light.
See, also too was like it was funny because like having Testore on Monday nights for the past couple months in my ear when I was watching, I was like, I don't know why, but it didn't feel as big as it could be if Testore would like when Testore sits in chair. Testore makes calling a match, a wrestling, boxing, or football game seem bigger. It might be just like, oh, this is gonna be just a regular Week 17 game, but it sounds big because how he broadcasts himself and presents the thing. And like I thought every Monday night with his calls, it makes it bigger than what it really is. And I thought maybe like I missed out on like maybe would have been awesome. Would have been what like on the main event, with Seth versus Punk, you bring in Testador and do the 3 man with Testador, Cole, and McAfee, and make it like oh, it's big time. We got to bring in the big time. I think that would have been freaking good.
Let's go ahead and dive into the actual show, though. We went on a little tangent with Joey T there, but let's dive into the actual show. We open with this powerful video package in the curtain around the ring. So, granted, we've seen photos of spoilers of what the Raw ring would look like for the debut on Netflix, but, they're kind of doing this whole, oh, big surprise unveiling thing. But very moving, powerful video package narrated by Triple H that really kind of brings people behind the curtain, like with the wrestling lexicon. And I know that Triple H had mentioned in the media scrum after the fact that, like, yeah, hey, we are bringing the curtain down a bit, like, talking about faces and heels and, wrestling lingo and things like that, because it's like, hey, if you're an old fan, we're going to give you more of what you love. And if you're a new fan, we're going to explain like why this is compelling television and why people tune in on a weekly basis to watch this. So I thought that was kind of cool. Really, really powerful video package. Triple H in the ring with the rah rah speech. And then we get The Rock coming down and cutting a promo. And I thought that this was kind of interesting in its placement in the show and just some of the stuff that he actually said in the ring. Like, especially when you look at the storyline that was there this past year between him and Cody, to then be blowing smoke up Cody's ass in the ring, giving him the pat on the back, all this other stuff. And them crediting Cody as the standard bearer of the WWE for the past year, and him putting the company on his back, but yet Cody is sitting ringside like a fan versus actually being in the ring and having a face to face. Like, I just want some of your thoughts real quick on how that whole thing with The Rock played out, because it really looked like he was there to chase the hug, which, I mean, that's a very popular wrestling term when it comes to guys breaking character and like looking for the cheers and the adoration of the fans, chasing the hug. I don't know. What were some of your thoughts on The Rock's promo and how they handled Cody, who is a standard bearer but is sitting ringside?
Um, so I wish I could tell you what he said in promo. I tuned everything out. It comes to the part where it's like, I heard the music, I'm like, I heard the pop, and I was like, I was done. I didn't want to hear him. I didn't want to see him. I don't care. I knew this is not. When he started talking, and it was not talking about nothing intelligent about the bloodline or Cody, like about upcoming. I was like, everything went mute.
He talked
Everything went mute
more
to me.
about being High Chief Saluli in the Samoan culture, and then almost like backhandedly acknowledged that Roman was his one true tribal chief, but that he would acknowledge Solo if Solo won. Spoiler alert, he didn't. Um, but yeah, like I don't know, like that was like the compelling rub. And then like The Rock comes out on NXT New Year's Evil the next night and basically shits on the fans that criticize his promo from Raw and poked holes in it. It's like, oh well, I'm taking you on a ride. It's like, okay, well, you've expressed hatred for Cody going back to WrestleMania. You beat him down like a freaking government mule outside his bus, beat him like a dog, went out of your way to try to spoil the WrestleMania moment. Then you come out at Bad Blood and you do the whole 3, 2, 1 countdown and slice your neck at Cody. And then all of a sudden you're in the ring breaking kayfabe and you're patting him on the back and saying, like, hey, man, good job. You know, like, I get that there's executive rock
Hey,
and then there's character rock.
hey,
But,
good
like,
job, guy. Good job, guy. It's all maybe he's just trying to bait him in. Bait him in.
maybe bait him in, but I also feel like you do that in the ring versus Cody sitting sideline, especially when later on you have a run in from Cody. You get his entrance music, you get all that. He comes down and makes a save. Why not do that in the ring? If this guy is your standard bearer, if he's the guy that is waving the freaking WWE flag, if he is the Hulk Hogan of this generation as far as being the face, why
Right.
not have that interaction in the ring?
Because I think they're going to do Roman and The Rock this year at Mania. I think I think if you ask me, if you ask me who I want to see Roman face, I'm gonna be like, it's The Rock.
Well, yeah,
You
I
know,
agree.
I think right now, oops, excuse me. I think that you go on and move on. I think you pull the plug. I think I think WrestleMania. It's CM Punk, Cody, and I think it's going to be Gunther and Cena. And I think those are the matches where pay off. I think you can have Rock and Roman headline night one, and then Punk and Cody night two, because you got to have the championship as that as your match. You don't need
Mm.
Walt. You don't need. I'm about to say Walter, Gunther and Cena
Mhm.
to be a main event. You can have that in between, but eh. Look, we all know.
Eh,
Look. We all know
maybe
it was all bullshit because he was all buddy buddy with him before the fucking WrestleMania, and then they had to swerve because like, oh shit, the fans are revolting, and they're like, let's do
mhm.
the.
Well,
Yeah, we all know.
then they're doing shots of Terramana in the back after the show and everything. It's like I get that, like there's a difference between character on screen and then what you really are behind the scenes. But still, it's like you're building up that
I,
that hatred, that animosity, and now we're just like dropping that cold turkey. And yeah, you could say, "Oh, it's sus. Maybe he's luring him in," but it's just like to me, it's like you went out of your way to tell one story, and now you're doing it about face. And it's not oh, Cody fans are unsatisfied no matter what The Rock does. It's just like, again, if you're giving me a story, tell that story. And if you are going to do an about face and you are going to change it, don't leave me waiting 10 weeks to then figure out, oh, well, that's why they did that. I mean, leave the breadcrumbs to keep us guessing along the way, but don't be like, oh, we did this. And then we're not going to hear anything about it for 10 weeks. And all of a
I,
sudden, oh, remember that? Oh, yeah.
I
Oh,
think he left the biggest breadcrumb he left on NXT was when he told Ethan Page, see you in the big leagues
I mean, dude, Ethan Page
soon.
is
He
due
said,
to
I'll
like
see you
come on
soon
main
in
roster.
I'll see you soon in the big leagues. And I was like, oh, I already can see it going on. Ethan Page most likely probably it's probably
See,
going
but
to be.
even like that, okay. And this is a criticism that I've seen elsewhere, and I kind of agree with it. Like Rock had that moment with Ethan Page. It was a film vignette in the back, face to face, or not vignette, but it was like filmed in the back. They were side by side, face to face. Whereas Cody literally you had the ringside area, front row, all that stuff, and then him like out in the crowd as a fan. Like just to me, like that rub that you gave Ethan Page of being side by side, face to face. They could have done that with Cody, whether it was in ring, in the back, whatever.
I don't
Could
think
have
you.
done that.
I don't think you need. But see, like here's the thing: Ethan Page needed the rub. Cody don't need the rub. Cody don't need the rub.
He don't, but
But I
it's just
mean,
it's
I I I,
optics.
I just
It's
think
optics.
look, all that was is all about fucking. Hey, Cody Rhodes, you got to build up your champion. You got to think of like one thing. He's not. He was in the ring. Here's the key factor. When he walked to the ring, he had the belt, right? He had the People Champion belt, right? But when he got to the side, he gave it to his girls, and he walked
Hmm.
into the ring as an executive of the WWE. And what he did was
True. That.
he it was a Netflix thank you Netflix for giving us $5 billion to
Mhm.
have Raw on here. And you had to build up your top person in your top person's Cody. You had to build him up, and then this is just going to be like, oh hey that and he put. I think say people was like, oh he's like tell Mama Rose I say hi. I think
Mhm.
that people are like, oh he giving maybe that was a maybe that's not an admiration. That is tell Mama Rose I said hi.
Well, yeah, no, it was like, slight dig. But
Yeah. So
speaking of champions though, the fact that Gunther, who is your champion on Raw, not featured at all on the show except for a vignette video package. Like I get they had a lot that they had to get to on Raw. It just to me, I didn't like that. Like again, could have been there in person, show him for a few minutes. Could have cut that promo live and been like, yeah, I might not have a match on the show, but make no mistake about it, this is my show. And
is it though? I think change gonna Cody
he's
will
a
be on.
champion.
Yeah,
Needs to act like it.
he's a champion, but is he gonna be champion of that show? I think they're gonna be switching. They're gonna be switching people around. I think Cody will be on Raw. I think you're gonna be making these. I think it's gonna be within this month. They're gonna be making these switches. And then, excuse me, oh, I have the hiccup. Um, the they didn't have nothing for them. The matches were set. There were four big time matches. It had nothing to do with nothing. Had nothing to do with Gunther's storylines.
Hmm.
I'm good with that. The bloodline match had a run in with KO and Cody, and that bleeds into your next Saturday night main event. It's going to be a ladder match. Boom. It
Well, no,
tied
that ladder match is at Royal Rumble.
Saturday night. I thought it's Saturday night main event. So that's what they.
Ladder match is at the Royal Rumble.
All right. Okay. Royal Rumble. Gunther doesn't have a match yet for Royal Rumble, does he? His
That
storyline
he
still got
doesn't.
a
He doesn't have
nothing right
upcoming
now.
match. Period.
He doesn't
Yeah.
have anything right now. So it's right now. Right now, it's just going to be okay. We're going to work this out. There's nothing right there. The storylines is either ending or beginning. CM Punk and Rollins, that's not finished. That's going to fucking continue.
Mhm.
Um, Liv and fucking and Rhea, it's still going to continue. Um,
Well, I was
Jay,
gonna say, like, because we got a lot that we got to get over in a short amount of time. Let's just like real quick talk about the results of the matches. Roman Reigns going over Solo Sikoa in tribal combat. We had a lot of interference that went on. I, it's weird. Like, I kind of feel like Roman winning here is not an issue for me. Like, it's just a matter of doing the slow burn with the rock kind of like coming out again to present him with the ulafala after Paul Heyman was supposed to be the one to present the ulafala. It just to me it was kind of very anticlimactic.
yeah. Also thought that I think they should let Solo go over because Roman went over at Survivor Series. I
Team effort at Survivor Series, team effort.
it's team Roman Reigns
Hmm.
went over. I think it was a team effort last on Monday, pretty much. It was a team effort.
Yeah,
But yeah, because I don't know where do you go now with that storyline. Is it dead? Is it done? Yeah,
yeah.
it's
I
done.
mean, is Bloodline 2.0 going to eat itself?
Is it
I
going to be
mean,
called the new Bloodline, or is it now going to be called something else?
I mean, don't know. It's like I said, like I didn't necessarily mind Roman going over, but I kind of feel like the execution of it didn't hit the mark for me.
Hey,
That's
if Roman goes to Raw, and you can have the OG Bloodline on Raw and the new Bloodline on SmackDown, and Roman tells them go run SmackDown while I run Raw. But what you do, you have to call themselves a different name now. It to me, it's just like I don't know what you do.
yeah.
What do you do?
A lot of questions coming out of that. We then get John Cena coming down the ring for his promo. John Cena, long and short of it, basically announces he's putting his name in the hat for the Royal Rumble and that he's going to win the Royal Rumble. Rah rah, John Cena moment. We have Rhea Ripley defeating Liv Morgan to recapture the Women's World Championship. Thought the match was really good. I like the fact that Liv got in a good amount of offense in and looked very credible as the defending champion. Yeah, we had a lot of chicanery involved, but Rhea capturing the belt. It's going to be a big year for Rhea going into 2025. The whole thing with Dirty Dom after the match, doing that right in front of Liv too, like, "Hey, mommy."
Sleazeball.
Oh man, no, I loved all of it. We had Jay Uso getting a surprise win over Drew McIntyre, hitting the backslide to steal the match and win. I thought that was a good quality match. Um, Hulk Hogan comes out to promote Real American Beer, and the crowd in LA just shat on the Hulkster, booed him out of the building.
But before you get to that, the one thing about the Rhea Ripley match, which is significant, is with the Undertaker coming out and
Giving
acknowledging
her the rub. Yeah, I forgot to mention that.
that right there,
Yes.
because I think the fair to realize is Rhea winning the title. Now it's like who's going to take it off of her? Because technically, I believe if she didn't get hurt, she would never have lost the title.
No.
I think this
Mm-mm.
would have been a run for like Liv would have been like the Cody Rhodes of the women going after this fucking title. Keep trying, keep trying, keep trying. But I think who beats Liv? I mean, who would beat Rhea? And I think the answer would be coming, but it's probably not anytime soon.
Mm-mm. No. So yeah, Taker giving her the rub. But real quick, your thoughts on Hogan getting booed out of the building?
Loved it. He shouldn't even have been on the fucking show in the first place.
I thought it was an interesting spot, especially considering some of the superstars we were talking about before not getting in-ring time or not being featured, and yet we carved out a section for Hulkster.
Well, it wasn't dealing directly with Real American Beer, but it's because of Real American Beer, one of their
Right.
sponsors, which makes me don't want to drink it. I'll never try it. But
I still need to get Stone Cold's Broken Skull IPA. Like, still need to give me one of those.
well, that's gonna put some hair on your chest on that one.
Let's
Uh,
fucking go.
the but no, like when he started booing him, I was like, it was like a car wreck that you could not look away from, and it was like, this is
I
fucking
felt bad.
awesome.
I felt bad for Jimmy Hart because like nobody should be booing Jimmy Hart. Jimmy
I don't,
Hart's a great dude. He's a fucking treasure.
I understand it,
But
but if you align
he
your
got the whole rub right
you
there.
if you align your alliances and you keep be on the coattails of fucking Hulk Hogan, you're going to deal
He's
with
his
it.
manager, dude.
I understand it.
Like
You gotta
IRL,
live.
his business manager.
You have to live with the. You gotta roll with the punches. Roll with the punches.
Then of course we get our main event, and I'm glad that this was in the main event spot, not the tribal combat, but the match between CM Punk and Seth Rollins. It brought it. It was a really good match. Punk gets the win here. Um, I liked the interactions after the match with them just being on opposite sides of the ring, and like you could tell that like, hey, these guys went to war for 20 to 25 minutes, like literally gave it their all. You know, Seth slow to get out of the ring, Punk having trouble getting up after the match. Like,
I thought he was
I
about to have a
mean,
stroke or something during the match. I
yeah,
thought I CM Punk
I
looked.
was legit. There was a part of me that's like, okay, he's selling, but then there was another part of me that was like, Jesus Christ, don't tell me he got injured again. Like,
I thought he was. I thought it was like more about like his cardio or something because I was like, "Dude, he look like he's about to have a heart attack or he's about to fucking pass out." And then at the at the press conference, he's like asking for donuts. I'm like, okay, he's just a really good seller because I thought he was about to.
yeah, no, it really good stuff. But I mean, that was one thing we were talking about though, like leading into the match was that like Seth could definitely run circles around him in the ring from like a stamina cardio standpoint. Does
Yeah,
Seth try to gas out Punk? You
and
know,
then
you know, during the match and everything. Like, um, it definitely does feel like this is going to be the start of something. And I'm not going to lie, if down the road this leads to Becky Lynch coming back and AJ Lee coming back, and
please,
we get,
please.
yeah, like I'm all for that. I mean, granted, I'm all for more matches with just the two of the guys, but if we get the women involved in this too, especially with some of the promos that they were cutting on each other,
Oh,
um,
please, let me, please, please, please. That
uh,
I need. Yeah, I want it.
yeah, no, like that might play into one of my bold predictions for 2025, but we'll get to that a little later
I,
on.
I'm gonna tell you my first starts when the opening of Raw happened.
Hmm.
The first thought came to my mind was like, boy, how the fuck AEW is gonna deal with this? They can't. There's no way they can compete with this. Like it just to me, it took my breath away because I was like, oh, they they don't have the budget for this. Because this is
They
like
don't.
it just makes it like it was just so like the production was just like so great, and I was just like, oh, this is not going. It's and then you watch if you watch I didn't watch, I just turned into Dynamite, and I was like, I thought I was like watching something in the '90s. It is like the
Well,
pitch quality was not like it wasn't crisp and clean. I I was just like, to me that was just my first mind. I was like, oh,
but at the same point in time, and this is something that you know, again, need to scream it at Tony Khan. Like the best thing to do is not to directly compete with WWE. Like you can be the competition and you can put on an alternative product, and that is what initially brought people in the first place was they were looking for an alternative. Be the alternative. You don't need to match WWE shot for shot. Focus on what you do best, but at the same point in time, put all of your efforts and attention into what you do best. Like to me, you have some of the best in-ring workers, like from a talent standpoint. You have some of the best wrestlers on your roster. Focus on that. But also don't just throw matches together willy-nilly. Have story there to get people invested in those matches. And it's like, again, you don't necessarily need to be WWE 2.0. Just focus on what you do best, but do a better job of focusing on what you do best or highlighting that. So, yeah, I mean, this isn't going to be an AEW bashing session because we got a lot
No,
we still got to
no,
get into,
no.
but
It's not bad. It's just that one of those thoughts. That's the first thought that came to my mind was like how they going. I know they're doing the now they're doing the streaming, but it's like Max can't compete with that either because their quality of their app is not that great. But I was like,
yeah.
just how Netflix shot the Netflix presentation of it. I was like, that's something that every company's going to have a problem with competing with WWE. That's going to be a new standard of
Hmm.
presentation. I think that's something that's just going to. That was my thought. It's not a bashing session because they have the money to up their presentation levels up, but as we can see,
Yeah, but you
they
don't
have
need
never
to. Yeah,
done.
but
And
like at
we
the same
talked
point
about that
in time, you don't need
before.
to do it to match WWE or
Not to
match
match,
what WWE is
but
doing.
you can,
Just
but it goes back to like the death match and the cage spot where going crashing through the steel, but it was cardboard and it looked like cardboard.
yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
but that was also several years ago.
Yeah, it
But
was
yeah,
years
no, I
ago,
get.
but still, but the production has never they never raised their production level up yet. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Like like every year WWE is doing this, upgrading their production levels, and like AEW is not. And I'm like, that's what the first thing was like. That problem with TNA. If TNA getting a WWE rub, they getting a rub from WWE for with all the move with the NXT. That's why I think why TNA is going great, and I think great things going to happen. You know, I think they're learning. I think probably going to be. We'll talk about that 2025. I think something's going to happen with TNA and WWE even more. But yeah, that's really it's not a dig at AEW. It was just like, boy, they can't compete with this, but nobody could
yeah,
compete
but
with that.
like, but at the
UFC,
same point
it
in
was a
time,
better
but at the
presentation.
same point in time,
It's a
it's
better
also I
presentation.
think an issue that AEW has is that they want to try to be on that level of WWE, and it's like stop focusing on that and just focus on getting your numbers up, getting your viewership up, getting attendance back up. Like it's like at one point in time, AEW could do no wrong, and then they lost their way.
But
You need to find your way again.
but here but I'm just not saying not AEW. Even
I
their
know you're not.
sister company.
I know you're
Listen,
not
listen,
intentionally
listen,
trying to shit on AEW.
listen.
I'm just saying,
I'm
like
just saying.
it's silly to compare the two right now.
But I also say this: UFC has to step up their game because their sister company in WWE just fucking changed the game in showing
Yep.
combat sports into a whole different level. That's what I meant. The game changed. Everybody has
Yeah.
to
No, the
change.
game definitely
Everybody has to
changed.
catch up now. It's like it's far out. UFC on Netflix.
Agreed.
Let's have it. UFC on
Well,
ESPN is dead.
let's go ahead and jump. So, what actually was originally going to bring us to this particular episode of the Rage of March Wrestling podcast is that we have our annual Marquee Awards that we have to give out for this past year, 2024. Good bit of debate back and forth between you and I before we came on the podcast as far as who our nominees and who our selections were. We ended up having to put a few of these in a randomizer because you and I couldn't decide between one or the other. But I was going to say there were several of these that you and I were unanimous on when we went into this. Clear cut winners. Um, just to give out some just a handful of awards that we're not going to spend too much time really delving into. Our manager for the year 2024, we gave that to Paul Heyman just because anything that Paul's involved in, whether it's, you know, backstage promos, in ring. He just makes everything bigger, whether it's facial expressions or not sleeping for 24 hours just to convey how nervous and ragged he is. Just the commitment that Paul Heyman puts into everything. He deserves the best manager for the year 2024. Um, we had our best debut, which there was no mistaking it, no trying to give it to anybody else. It was Jacob Fatu. I mean, dude had one of the biggest impacts this past year, and future is only golden for Jacob Fatu going forward. Are you all right over there?
I lost my note. I'm looking for my notes. I tore it
I
out of
was like,
my.
you spazzing out over there. I'm like, what you doing?
I I tore a note out of my notebook and I can't find it now.
Oh boy.
I wrote
Well,
something important on it and now I don't remember what I wrote.
while you desperately look for your notes, we are most improved marquee, which we gave to Nia Jax because there's no mistaking. There's anybody that we shat on relentlessly during the pandemic and up until her release, it was Nia Jax and the quality of her in-ring work. And ever since she came back, I felt like there was a marked improvement, just quality in ring work, quality of mic skills, quality of just being a heel, and being the one that everybody on the SmackDown women's roster chased after for the gold. Nia Jax did an amazing job this past year. Definitely deserves her flowers. Anything else you want to add? Because I know you were a pretty big Nia hater.
Oh, it would probably be like the how. Oh, one real quick about Paul Heyman. The manager award from now on will be Paul Heyman's until he retires. So let's basically call that straight
Until
out what it is.
somebody does a good enough job to unseat him from that role.
When someone out Paul Heyman, the award will go out. So every year will be Paul Heyman. Just like I would say, like the most shittiest wrestler of the year award, if there was one, would always go to Nia Jax. I'll first admit, mid-year, I said Nia Jax looking good. When
Yeah,
she came back, I told you and Kurt, I was like, she's looking way better than what she did before. I was impressed all year with her in-ring work, her mic skills, everything,
didn't injure
presentation,
anybody, so that you
presentation,
know
everybody. So yeah, well, most improved. Thinking about she was on my short list of women of the female wrestler of the year. Didn't make my final list, but
didn't make mine, but
but
yeah,
she could have been up there. That's how big an improvement she was from her last tenure in WWE.
yeah. So no kudos to her. We have our Breakthrough Stars Award. We divided this up between the men and the women. Some of the nominees we had for Breakthrough Men's, we had Jay Uso, we had Braun Breaker, Kyle Fletcher, Joe Hendry of TNA, Oba Femi of NXT, and Konosuke Takeshita. Um, our winner for that was Joe Hendry. And when you really think about it, as far as like, was he already a star before this past year? Yes. Did he become an even bigger star over the course of the year? Absolutely. The dude was everywhere, whether it was TNA, NXT, even breaking the Billboard charts in the UK, becoming one of iTunes top downloads on Apple Music. Like, Joe Hendry was pretty much anywhere and everywhere. Say his name and he appears, and appear he did. Any thoughts you want to throw in there regarding Joe Hendry being our breakthrough men's star?
Like this is one that we kind of disagreed on. Um, I what he did last year was fucking phenomenal to make a name for himself. I think this year is going to be even a better year for him. and I think it's just going to lead. It just leads off to where that rub that WWE gave TNA. This is one of the main reasons he fucking
Yeah.
skyrocketed after NXT. It's how NXT skyrocketed helped Joe Hendry, and Joe Hendry helped NXT. They both helped each other. I think it's going to be a great year next year for them.
I was gonna say I see TNA Championship Gold in his very very near future. We have
Very,
our women's
very near.
yeah, we have our women's breakthrough stars. Nominees for this category we had Mariah May of AEW, current AEW Women's Champion. We had Tiffany Stratton, who is your new SmackDown WWE Champion. We have Harley Cameron, who come a long way on AEW and is one of the more entertaining spots on AEW television. Stephanie Vacour, who not only excelled in New Japan and a brief shot on AEW, but is killing it in NXT right now. And then we have another woman that's killing it in NXT in Kalani Jordan. And would you like to tell us who our winner of the Breakthrough Women's
Yeah. The
category was?
the funny thing is, this whole list, all of them were stars except for one. And actually, we can probably de facto it. Our debut was normally rookie of the year, but they really couldn't find really rookies. And
Yeah.
then this one is a true rookie, young in her 20s, first ever NXT North American title. Clowney Jordan is a breakthrough, aka I also give it rookie of the year.
Hmm.
Phenomenal job, still phenomenal. She did lose the title, but the storylines with her, it's just so good. Shawn Michaels doing a great job with her in NXT. Can't wait. I can't wait to see what this year's going to do. I see NXT Women's Championship in her future. I see multiple championships in her future in the main roster as well. The sky's the limit. She's also one of the first NXT NIL signings. So
Hmm.
she's very good out of Michigan State. Look, phenomenal, phenomenal.
Let's go ahead and jump to our best tag team award. Nominees for this category, we had the Motor City Machine Guns. We had Fraxium, Nathan Frazier, and Axiom from NXT. The Young Bucks, FTR, The System in TNA, Brian Myers and Eddie Edwards. And then we had Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill.
Who is
Um,
PWI's number one tag team of the year?
Crazy,
For real,
crazy.
for real.
Um,
That's how bad
our
the
winner,
year. That's how bad
our
this
winner
year
for
was.
this Our winner for this, it took a bit of convincing because your original selection was Bianca and Jade, but uh, we gave the award to Fraxium. And part of the reason why I made the compelling argument is when you look at like a lot of these tag teams, yeah, Bianca and Jade were in a sense the standard bearers of the women's tag division. But like the fact that Fraxium pretty much held tag championship gold through the majority of the years, save for a very brief window, they've been like one of the few tag teams that's consistently been good. I know like the Young Bucks just won tag gold in New Japan this past week at Wrestle Dynasty, Wrestle Kingdom. The system has been consistent in TNA, but just to me, Fraxium has been the most successful from start of year to end of year. And that's why we gave the nod to them. Plus showing you some NXT love. I know you love a little NXT love. So,
So what? So can you explain to the people why you don't like women as tag teams?
oh God.
I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
Yeah. No, well, I mean, but even then, just like to me, I don't feel like maybe they featured the women's tag belts enough over the course of the year. I do feel like that they're getting better with some of the tag teams that they have put together. Just to me, um, wasn't featured as prominently or as strongly as I thought it should be.
I have a crazy pitch for the next NXT Women's Champ. I mean, not the NXT, the Women's Tag Team Championship belts. It's crazy.
Mhm.
I think they should move Roxanne Perez to the main roster, keep Corey Jade in NXT, but have them tag team up, win the title, and feature both of them on NXT and on the main rosters to get Corey Jade. Because I think they want to bring both of them up at the same time, but Corey Jade, because of the injuries, is a step behind. But you help bring Corey Jade as champion to the main roster and help her work with the talent, help her out. But have that be like
Well,
NXT main roster,
but
bring
at the
together.
same point in time, the whole point of the women's championship belt is that it's defended on all three shows, or is supposed to be defended on all three
And
shows.
this will guarantee it would be defended on all three shows, which now it's not really is.
Moving on to our next category, we had best faction. In the nominees for this category, we had the OG Bloodline, Bloodline 2.0, Judgment Day, the Death Riders on AEW, the System in TNA, and the Family in NXT. Um, we ended up giving the nod to Judgment Day. While it doesn't look like Judgment Day will be long for this world going into 2025, you can say, though, that they had a pretty impressive year in 2024. If you just go back to WrestleMania 40, the fact that you have both Rhea and Damian Priest being your top champions in your respective categories, the fact that for the majority of the year, even though they did not defend the belts very often, I think a total of two or three times, you had JD McDonough and Finn Balor as your tag champs. Dirty Dom was prominently featured throughout the year in a variety of different stories. And then you have Liv Morgan that comes in and usurps Rhea and takes control of the women's side of things in Judgment Day as women's world champion. So, just to me, throughout the course of the calendar year, Judgment Day, for the most part, was towards the top of the card. Um, whether it be on Raw or premium live events. They had a more successful year than you could really say any of the other factions on the list. I know you had originally went with the family, and I'll just let you touch on the family a little bit and why you thought they were maybe deserving.
NXT Tag Team Champions also held the Heritage Cup. So they held two titles during the year. I just thought maybe also too just get some love to the family because they don't get too much too much love, and I think it's a good bit. It's a good
Hmm.
it's a good bit down there, and just give some love to them. Because the only person I thought was Judgment Day, and I was like,
Yeah,
yeah, Judgment Day.
we have our best heel award.
That goes
And
last. That's the last award we give out. No,
you want to go last?
that's
Okay, you want to go
last.
last? On that? All
That's
right, fair enough.
last.
Fair enough.
That's our top
Um,
award. That's our
Oh,
top
that's our top
award.
war. Okay. All right. Best card. So best wrestling card. We had four nominees there. We had SummerSlam, AEW Revolution, AEW Wrestle Dream, and WrestleMania 40. I don't think there's any doubt of which one wins this award, and that's going to go to WrestleMania 40. I mean, we don't even really have to delve into that too
I didn't
deeply.
watch two of
Um,
these.
let's shame, shame. Best feud, and there were a lot of really good nominees for this category. We had Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan had a pretty epic feud through the year. We had Timeless Tony Storm and Mariah May over in AEW. Also in AEW, Swerve Strickland and Hangman Adam Page. I mean, dude burned a guy's house down, for Christ's sake. His childhood home doesn't get more heated than that. We had the OG Bloodline versus Bloodline 2.0. And then we had CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. And I'll let you announce who our winner for that category was.
That was hands down Punk McIntyre. I mean, the feud
You
was
do not
going
need
right.
to care about a Swifty bracelet, for crying out loud.
that shit was going red hot when Punk was fucking out of injury.
Hmm.
It actually brought McIntyre back into re-signing with WWE. It was very well done the whole year.
The fact that the blow off for the feud was Hell in a Cell, and you got me to care about Hell in a Cell again, that speaks volumes. And just the quality of their work. And I mean, like, look, they only got in the ring together 3 times over the course of the year. All right. But the fact that from basically the build up, well, really the Royal Rumble, where Punk gets injured by McIntyre, McIntyre coming out with the shirts, talking shit, going on Twitter and talking Twitter smack. Um, WrestleMania, where Drew wins the belt, and then because he was more concerned with gloating about it over Punk and rubbing it in his face, and ends up promptly losing the title. And then, yeah, we get over the course of the year, Punk screwing McIntyre in championship opportunities and everything else. Just the fact that we basically went from the Royal Rumble all the way to Bad Blood in October. And that was like one of the hottest things on television through the course of 10 months. Huge.
And it's
There's no
all
way that you could give that to
and
anybody
it was
else.
all because of an accidental injury to Punk in the Royal Rumble.
Talk about making lemonade with lemon, or when life gives you lemons, making lemonade. Turkey, making chicken salad out of chicken shit. Like
Fuck, I just talked myself out of. I'm sorry. I hate to say this. I think I had a candidate for our men's rest of the year, and I just talked myself out of it now. I feel bad. I feel bad. I feel bad.
over your initial selection.
Yes.
Do you want to rethink best heel, because
No.
that was one that I was
Nope.
arguing strongly for.
Nope.
Nope. Alrighty then.
Oh,
Moving on.
yeah. I'll tell you this later. Okay.
Moving on down the line. We had our match of the year. Nominees for this, we had Cody versus Roman for the WWE Undisputed Championship at WrestleMania 40, Night 2. We had CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre, Hell in a Cell at Bad Blood. Will Ospreay versus Bryan Danielson at AEW Dynasty. North American Championship match from NXT Stand and Deliver, Josh Briggs versus Obafemi versus Dijak. And then we had Sami Zayn versus Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania Night 1. For this, rather than doing one winner, we're doing a split decision. Ramsey's got his pick. I have mine. Ramsey, I will give you the floor to give your winner for this category.
No surprise. No surprise, really. Once you read the list, you already knew what were mine's. It's Will Ospreay and Danielson. No, it's not. It's actually Briggs.
That's mine, but
It's Josh Briggs, Obafemi, and Dijak. This three-way match was phenomenal, and it's actually the last match for Dijak, which I thought the match. I was like, I hope he resigned. I hope he resigns. He
yeah,
walked away
I mean,
from.
it was very surprising that after that match, he was out of NXT or out of WWE in general.
He walked out. He like his contract was up. He didn't resign. I was like, holy shit, he can ask for a bag full of fucking money and he would have got it. That was his best match. And he had great matches. He had great matches with Finn back in the day. Um, but this match was just
His series with
Aleister Black.
Big Dude. Well, Alistair Black, but I was talking about his series with Big Man, Bearcat, fucking Keith Lee.
Keith Lee, dude,
Yeah,
like
no, his series of matches with Keith Lee were fucking crazy.
this was his best match though. He looked so good, and it was just like it was just I was just like it was one of those matches I was like, holy shit, this should have gone for an hour. Give him 3 hours. These guys just killed it. Obi Femi, and I would have said this if before Tuesday. I said this year is the year of Obi Femi. He will become NXT champion. He will be in the main roster by the end of the year. That dude is good. Like not even good. Like this is Brock. This is Brock Lesnar 2.0.
I was about to say if there's a comparison, I mean, granted, I don't think he's necessarily on that level of Brock yet, but just as far as for a man of his size, as athletic and as agile as he is, and the things that he can do in the ring, he's definitely in that conversation.
He's he got some. He has some Bam Bam in him. He got some Vader in him. He got some. He got a mean streak like Sid. Fuck. Dude. He got the gas like Lesnar. Dude. Dude. I hands down. Obi found me going to dominate NXT with the NXT title.
Mhm.
He'll be in the main roster by the end of the year. I can't wait when we see Obi Femi versus Jacob Fatu. I probably
Sign me
will
up.
fucking come in my pants seeing that shit. That
I
shit
need,
right
I need
there.
it. I need it in my veins right now. Let's go.
I
For
I
my pick for best match, I went with Will Ospreay and Brian Danielson. Just for the fact that like these are two people that been considered been considered the best wrestler in the world at one point or another. You have old lion versus new lion. You have Danielson who's at the door, basically talking about how leading up to the middle of the year over the summer that this was going to be his last year as a full-time active wrestler because he wanted to focus more on family life and everything. Just to me, it was a beautiful display of in-ring craftsmanship, the storytelling, just watching two of the best go at it. And like to me, they delivered and then some. I know you didn't get a chance to really watch the match, but you really should do yourself a favor, Ramsey, and watch it because it is as advertised. It is that good. Um, Another one that you and I were split on, and we decided to go ahead and roll with this. With we say maybe the best and the worst moments of the year, like best face moment, best heel moment. Um, for me, the best moment of the year was Cody finishing the story at WrestleMania 40. I mean, to me, that's what the first quarter of the year was built around. Was that storyline? I mean, really, the last year before that was Cody finishing the story and like him coming up short, getting screwed at WrestleMania 39, how he was going to get back there, him winning the Royal Rumble, and then acquiescing the spot initially to The Rock, who basically came in and called his shot. Then we get the WrestleMania press conference in Vegas and everything. It's just, it all built to this moment. Then we get the match, and literally it was like the end of Avengers Endgame, with just all these spots and run-ins and callbacks and everything that basically climaxes with Cody hitting the three crossroads on Roman Reigns to dethrone the longest reigning modern champion in WWE history. That moment, I mean, like, that's the moment that the people wanted. That's the moment that the people got. And like literally the payoff in the ring, seeing him kiss, you see him Brandy come in and present him with the belt, kiss him, seeing, Cody present the belt to Mama Rhodes in the ring for Dusty. It was just like the perfect feel good moment. If you were looking for the happy ending, the rub and tug, you got it there at WrestleMania 40. And to me, that was my best moment.
Now my best moment, or like you said, worst moment, but it's my best moment is in
It's a pretty
SummerSlam.
damn good moment. I'm not gonna lie, pretty damn good one. But
In SummerSlam, when Dirty Dom leveled up like for like John Cena goes to Super Cena, Dom became dirtier Dom when he turns his back on Rhea, kisses Liv, and literally just makes the fucking Judgment Day into a mushy, hectic mess. And it was one of those things is like, you kind of knew he was going to turn on her, but how? And then how he just went in, bam, and it was just like, because technically he never really kissed Rhea. You
Mm.
know, he like on screen planted one on fucking Liv, and it was like, okay, like
Ooh.
oh
Yeah.
shit, like it just made him fucking. He leveled up his heelless to a higher level, and
I felt like I had to take a shower after seeing that. Like that's how dirty it was.
I was like, damn, that's some shit I used to do in high school. I'm like, damn, I'm like, hell yeah, like let's go. Let's go. And it
Like,
just level it and it made fucking Judgment Day life extend higher, longer, had a longer life.
yeah,
And it's
definitely gave them a shot in the arm.
and now it's like and then starting 2025, they're like, he's about to do another he about to double agent turn again. He was like, mommy, Rhea wins, mommy. And then it's like, dude, you did in front of Liv. I'm like, oh, next Monday, we can't wait to see this. What this bullshit's going to end. This is going to be a shit show of the end of the Judgment Day. But I don't think it's going to be end of the Judgment Day. It's just going to be the end of Liv and Dom in the Judgment Day, or it'd be Dom, Finn, and JD. Another. I think the Judgment's not done. It's just not going to be what it used to be. But it kept it alive, and it kept the rivalry with Liv and Rhea will go longer and stronger and better.
Up next, we got our best women's wrestler. In the nominees for this category, we have Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, Timeless Tony Storm, Roxanne Perez, Jordan Grace, and Athena. I had to give a little love to Athena. I know, like, Ring of Honor is kind of a shell of what it used to be, but the fact that she is currently the longest reigning women's champion on any brand, putting in quality work, I had to give her a little bit of love. But why don't you go ahead? Because you and I were actually unanimous on this, and I'm not sure if you were surprised that I
I
actually
was
went this route.
surprised as fuck because I was fighting for her last year.
Uh
I
huh.
was fighting for her last year to win Women's of the Year. And look, hands down, it's Roxanne Perez. Because whatever you're gonna do, you can go down this list: Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, Tony Storm, Athena, Jordan Grace. Only two of this list face a champion outside their own fucking company head to head, and that is Georgiana Grace and Roxanne Perez, which I'll put 1-2 on the list.
Hmm.
Roxanne Perez, I said it last year, I'll say it again this year. She's the future of the WWE. She's the future of women's wrestling. She has
Yep.
it. That is the prodigy. If what we thought what Charlotte Flair was coming in, like, oh, that's Ric Flair's daughter. She's going to be this. She's going to be great. That's times two. She's athletic. She has the. She's a great fucking heel. She can play babyface, but she's a great fucking heel. And she also plays in that
Yeah.
role. She's in the CM Punk stable, which would be fucking awesome if AJ Lee comes back. And then it will be CM Punk, AJ Lee, and their two daughters, Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade. That would be a fucking awesome thing. I wish it would fucking happen. But without it,
Punky's Angels.
oh yeah. Eh, Unfortunately, Roxanne did lose the title, but it was coming. There's just too much great, and she needs to move on. She needs to get to the main roster. Um,
I mean, she's been the standard bearer of bar none the best women's division in wrestling. Like, there is no doubt that the NXT women's division is stupid strong,
and she's doing this,
stronger than any other promotion. You could maybe make the argument that the collection of talent that AEW has is strong, but AEW doesn't know what the fuck to do with their women.
but
As I say,
the
clearly clearly Roxanne was a standard bearer of the best women's division in wrestling.
yeah,
And it's like I say, the quality of the work that she's put in over the course of the year, the quality of the matches that she's had with some of the biggest stars in the industry, like I could already see her in the ring with a Tiffany Stratton or a Bianca Belair or people like that, and being able to hold her own. Heck, I could even see her holding her own against a Rhea Ripley. Maybe not being able to overtake her now, but the contrast of styles, big power woman like Rhea, versus the quick and shifty Roxanne Perez, more technical. Like I'm ready to see her go up against the main roster women because I think she matches very well with just about all of them on the roster.
And here's the thing, Shawn Michaels is a great booker on faces, and he's doing a great job with Roxanne as a heel. You put her in Hunter because Hunter's a great booker for heels, not a strong booker for face. I can't wait to see what they can do with her on the main roster as a heel because oh my god, she could she can overtake Dom next year as best heel, from last year, you know.
We shall see. Then we got our best men's wrestler category, which nominees for that would be the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes, Gunther, Will Ospreay, Swerve Strickland, Brian Danielson, give him the rub on the way out, and Drew McIntyre. And our winner for that, which came down to a randomizer, was
Mm.
Will Ospreay. And again, my rationale behind it, the quality of the in-ring work, the spectacle, everything, it's really hard to argue against what Will Ospreay is able to do in the ring. Now, granted, I will give you, because you campaigned hard for Cody. Nobody had a bigger year than Cody as far as like money. Like the dude drew some of the biggest gates in WWE history. Big financial year. He has been the standard bearer, the torchbearer. Cody gets enough love, damn it. He gets enough love.
I'm going to tell you this. When I said earlier that I think I talked myself into someone being the rest of the year,
Drew McIntyre.
no, it's CM Punk.
Ah,
Because think about it, and I'm going to make the case for CM Punk because of an injury at Royal Rumble. What's going on with your camera, man? You are like you're on a boat. You just it's like
yeah, the things on my lap right now, and
oh,
I got a little play, like
get
little
the little
plate or whatever.
shakes.
I was writing something down when you said that.
So here's the thing about with Punk, because what happened at Royal Rumble, an unfortunate injury, he kept himself more relevant in wrestling in those months being out and rehabbing than any wrestler you've seen in a while. When's the last time you really seen a wrestler who's been hurt with an injury like that, still make TV appearances, still makes an impact in on the cards, made an impact in WrestleMania. The Raw segments with him and Drew, without even coming to blows, were mentally insane. Going back to some
Hmm.
old school, like Punk's in the is in the
And
VIP
then the
boxes,
boxes, yeah,
and
the
then
box
he goes
suites, yeah.
chase him, and then Punk's back on the ground, talking to him like, "Hey, finally, I'm right here. I'm here by the ring." Just to make himself relevant, while and not making people forget mentally, probably was the best mental wrestler all year. But then go into a program with Drew McIntyre and play out those three matches that were feud of the year. Then mentally go in and be like, oh, I'm join Roman and I'm going to do it. And then the interactions, just the interactions, still put him on. Why not? Why not him? He didn't have to wrestle all that much. He literally was in
He wrestled
everyone's
like
mouth.
5 times over the course of the year.
He was on
I mean,
everyone. He was a talk of fucking wrestling all fucking year, and he didn't have to step in the fucking ring half the year. To me, like when you start talking about when everyone's talking about him, but he's not in doing the shit in the ring, but it's all nothing bad. It's all about what's going on between him and McIntyre. dude, it, it, I got it wrong. I got it wrong. But when
Hmm.
we're talking about the feud and we're talking about it, and it clicked. That's the wrestler of the year.
Well, that's not who won, but I will say if you want to give an MVP for the year, if you want to give an MVP for 2024, I'll give you CM Punk as MVP of the year.
That's what the men of the year is. That's what it is.
No, no, it's not. No, it's not.
Okay, NFL.
It's Will Ospreay. Get it right. Anyway, so that brings us to our last category, which is
Hey,
best
hey,
heel.
hey, hey, hey. Symbol Punk will take a title, put an X through it, and be like, "Fuck it, he is the man. He is the wrestler of the year."
Let him do that. Let him do that. We got our last award, best heel, and nominees for this category. We had Drew McIntyre, who was my selection, but he didn't win. Kevin Owens, The New Day, late entry, but damn, was it a powerful one. Uh, Dirty Dom Mysterio and MJF. And I'll let you go ahead and announce the winner for that award.
It's 2 years running. It's Dom. Like I said, he leveled up his dirtiness in SummerSlam, and he just and like not even counting forward to 2024, 2025, he doubled up again. Like he's keeping this up. I'm like, someone has to do something dirty just to get him out because he's living in the role. Like I like one of the interviews he said he goes I don't care about like my in ring performance. It's about how heelish I can really be. I'm gonna take this to a new level. He's taking this to Eddie Guerrero level. He passed Eddie Guerrero, and I'm gonna say this right now because of this two-time winner. And because why this is the reason why the awards last. I said this is the last award because we our first main big thing that we did was all time heel tournament.
Mm-hmm.
We're bringing it back.
Ooh, all right, let's
We're going to bring
go.
it back, and we're going to bring it back the week of Super Bowl week because I will be down there. I'll be down there for the Royal Rumble. Yeah, I'm flying out that Saturday. It'll be like the Halloween party. Flight going right into the
Huh.
to the Royal Rumble. But I'll be there the whole week, and I'll get with you off air. Talk, see if we can talk to Chris and Kirk. All get together, and we'll do a tournament. I think because we have to put Dom in this tournament. We got to put MJF. We got to put the heel McIntyre in.
Yeah.
We got to put these in. And I'm like, MJF is a great heel. I think he would be on the level of Dom if he was in the WWE and not AEW.
Mm,
Because I think he can elevate that heelness. I think Triple H, like I said, Triple H books really hard on heels. Very good on heels. That's why I can't wait for when CM Punk decides to retire. I think what's going to happen is CM Punk is going to go to NXT, run NXT, and I think Sean's going to come up and run WWE with Hunter, and that would be a great dynamic. A good heel and a good face booker working together be
mm-hmm.
great. And CM Punk working with the youngsters. I can't wait for that to happen. But CM Punk's going to win the title at some point. Uh, but Dom's just, dude, he kissed Liv. One, he never kissed Rhea. Liv kissed him,
It was Pecs,
Pecs, but
like
not on lips. Uh, Liv kissed
not
him,
full on. Yeah, not full on. Like boom.
and this is a dude that just got married last year and doing this shit. And like his wife says,
He got married a few weeks before that whole thing with Live at SummerSlam. That was crazy.
and it's like, but like his wife said, he goes, it's job, it's acting. Like he comes home to me. I know where he's at. I know I'm trusting him. But it's like the Dom just he's his goal is to be the greatest heel of all time, and he's stepping up. He's going up in class.
He's ascending that ladder, baby. He
He
is
is
ascending
ascending
that
to.
ladder,
He's
or
like
descending that ladder straight to hell.
he's going past some of the great heels. You know, he's getting. I think in my level, because Raven has won all-time heel list, or time is our all-time heel. He's not there yet, but he's at maybe Ted DiBiase heel for me. Like so, like he's gradually getting to that heelish to the Mount Rushmore heels. So I was just like I give it up to him. I'm like he's our heel, man. That he's our hero.
Well, real quick, just because we
He
gotta get ready to take this
hero
show home.
hero.
I was just, I was just saying we got to get ready to take this show home because we've been going for a minute here. Um, Bold predictions for 2025. You had mentioned championship gold and CM Punk's future. What are some of your bold predictions for this coming year?
I have five predictions for this year. Um, Jordana Grace will win the Royal Rumble.
Jordan Grace wins the Royal Rumble. Okay.
Um, I know you have four, so I'll do my four, then you can do your fourth one. Um, my fourth one is Joe Hendry will win the TNA World Championship on next Saturday, not this Saturday, but next Saturday, January 19th, and will be in the Royal Rumble with the TNA World Championship on his waist.
I like that prediction. That's a good, solid prediction. Nice. Um, my one of my bold predictions for 2025, AEW, seeing as how enamored they are with title belts and how everybody gets a title belt, you get a title, you get a title, everybody gets a title. AEW will launch a women's tag championship, and there will be women's tag team champions at some point in time in the year 2025. My third prediction is that WWE brings back the mixed match challenge.
Oh,
I think like with a lot of with a lot of the crossover that they have from a branding standpoint and everything, just as a way to get more of their stars out there, more of their stars in the ring. Mixed match challenge was not too bad the first iteration that they brought around, and I feel like just with everything going on, this is the perfect time to dust it off and bring it back.
I like that one.
More intergender matches, the better. Let's go.
Um, my third one is I don't know who, but I think a huge AEW star will walk out of AEW through through frustration. I've been watching some podcasts, and there's some talks of some big stars that just not happy, overwhelmed, and I
Bring Miro home. Bring Miro home. Bring Rusev back to WWE.
but I think the one person I think that will walk out is Kenny Omega.
He
There's some
just came
I
back.
I heard some
He
podcast.
just came
He
back.
just came back. He did not want to debut for AEW. He was forced to. He wanted to
Mm,
debut in New Japan. But there's been a lot of he there's some podcasts that he was frustrated, and he kind of was like, I am kind of done with he's sick of the backstage, like that. He kind of admits that he misses when Cody left. It has been a and he's like, I'm cool with CM Punk. It's like he's been going like how things are like. It just seems like he's frustrated. And like I think this shit when I heard about like he wanted to debut in New Japan, and then Tony was like, no, you have to come back. Like so I think he was like kind of forced. I think with that, I think the appeal. I think it's time. He wants. I think he wants to go to Japan. I think he wants just wants to wrestle in Japan. I think also kind of. I think he wants to try out, see what goes on with WWE. I think that he's the main one. But yeah, Miro, Alistair fucking Black last night fucking tweeted that he's done. He done. He gone.
mm.
But like I think higher Miro, yeah. But I'm talking about walking out. I'm talking about big. I'm talking about him. I'm talking about Kenny Omega or another big star will walk. I'm like something's going to cripple. It's going to be like, oh shit, like it's going to be a hard hit. That's what I think. It's going to be one of those. be like, oh shit,
All
damn,
right.
that's bad.
Your number two.
Cena will break Flair's record this year.
That was my number one. So there we go. We can cross that out. Is it really that bold of a prediction? I mean,
I
is it
think so
though?
because I don't think he wants to.
I don't think he wants to, but I mean,
I think they're gonna make him.
right? They're like, look, this is your last year. We're gonna get every last ounce of blood, sweat, hustle, loyalty, and respect we can get out of you, buddy.
Now, to be honest with you,
We're gonna wring that towel that you throw out into the crowd when you run down the ramp completely dry. We're gonna get every last drop out of it.
I really I want Orton to break that record. That's who I want. I want Orton to break the record. I think he deserves to break that record. I, but I
If
think yeah.
well, okay, so riddle me this though: what if Cena breaks it and then Orton breaks Cena's record?
You ready for this? Here's a hot take. Cena breaks the record doesn't mean shit no more. Because
Um,
the thing about Flair's record is it's not one promotion. It's multiple promotion world championships.
mm-hmm.
Cena world record, the record was just going to be WWE, which is all great and everything, which because all the titles that Flair won is pretty much integrated in that world title, but Flair did it on multiple companies, not just one, and that just means more. But with Randy Orton breaking it, same thing. Orton breaks the record. It doesn't mean nothing anymore. The record doesn't mean anything. The 16 is sacred, but once someone breaks it, it's not sacred no more.
Agree with that. I'll go with my last bold prediction since we both kind of have the one with Cena. Um, Sheamus wins the Intercontinental Championship in 2025, gets that title that's eluded him his whole career, and then he could say he's a true Grand Slam champion. And look, if anybody deserves it, Sheamus deserves to have it. It's like I kind of feel like his time with the main title is through, or like him being featured as like that main event guy going for the world title. I think that time's kind of come and gone. You could always heat him back up, but I feel like you got too many other people need to push. I feel like him having a run with the IC title does no harm, and the dude deserves it, especially considering the quality of his in-ring work.
I agree.
Let him put on banger after banger with the IC title.
I agree. I agree. I wouldn't put it as a bold prediction. I think it's probably like it's gonna happen. Like what you said about Cena, it's like you really
Yeah,
it's gonna
it's gonna
happen.
happen.
It's gonna
Yeah,
happen. I don't think it might not be this year. I think it's gonna be one of those where you know that his career is about to be on the end, and they do like what they did with Tommy Dreamer in ECW, let him win it before he was about to be out of the company. I think it's gonna be like one of that. He's gonna win the IC title, but then it's just a swan song going out of the WWE. Um, which hopefully it's not anytime soon because he puts banger after banger.
I mean, he's still got a lot of good years in him. So
But speaking about bangers, let's talk about bangers. My number one prediction: Braun Breaker will win Money in the Bank.
hmm,
He will win Money in the Bank and
I
cash
like it.
in on John Cena.
I'll do you one better because I actually did have this as a potential bold prediction, but I ended up taking it off the list. But I'll throw it back in here since you threw out Braun Breaker. Dirty Dom wins the Money in the Bank briefcase. You want to talk about him just growing and growing and growing and growing as the heel. Imagine Dom running around with the briefcase for a while.
That would be great. But if Cena's gonna win that title,
Imagine Cena winning that title, and then Dirty Dom cashes in on him on his last appearance, and we end the year with Dirty Dom winning the belt.
Nah, I don't.
I
If
don't see
Dom,
him holding it for
Dom,
long. I'm
Dom,
just
Dom,
saying,
Dom,
like,
w- Dom,
imagine.
Dom winning Money in the Bank equals a failed cash in. It has to, because he has to. It just does. Him winning the title doesn't seem right. Him losing out on the,
That's why it's right. And that is why it's right.
but I would see the passing of the
Especially
torch.
over John Cena. You want to talk about John Cena putting a rub on somebody on the way out?
Yeah, but I want to put him the right rub because Dom doesn't need that rub. But if you want to talk about a face of the franchise, because you can see Braun Breaker, he's going to be the future. That's the
Clearly.
future. But why not like say, hey, you're the future, and you do from the all-time great John Cena to Braun Breaker to pass that torch. I think that would be that's a that's a big moment that you can't really pass up on. To me, that's the guy.
Hmm. I was gonna say, so that's our bold predictions for the year 2025. Any closing remarks you want to have going into the new year?
Nah, it's just I can't wait for this year because I think we're going to do, like I said, we've been talking about doing more old content, and I can't wait to get back to that. I think I got
Yeah.
some ideas. Like I said, first we're going. Big thing is we're going to do the heels tournament again. Update update our heels tournament. Um, because I think we have to factor a lot of shit in, and but I'm gonna work on it this month, and probably be this month will probably won't be another show until February because I'm gonna work on this, and I think we're gonna get this. I'm gonna stream out and have interesting things I'm thinking about. Getting back to the creativity of like how I create things. I think we're gonna
Hmm.
do creatively and all that. But going back to the old, like just talk about the old stuff. I can't wait because it's gonna be interesting. But like for the current product, let's go, let's go. I can't
Yeah,
wait.
man.
I like the
Year
fact that now I can watch.
2025.
I don't have to like go home and be at home and watch Raw. I can now watch Raw whenever I want to
I
watch
will
Raw.
say, because like I had to work, I had to work Monday night, so I, didn't get off until 9:30. I got home a little before 10, but to be able to like start it up and watch it while it's still airing without any issues, without any hiccups, any issues that they had when it came to like the Tyson fight or even the NFL games on Christmas Day, it seems as though they got all that figured out and fixed. It ran flawlessly. So no, I loved the presentation of Raw on Netflix. It's going to be great to see how they carry that momentum into the new year. And yeah, I mean, big things coming. Can't wait. I'm along for the ride. So let's
I just
go.
realized that I have the two titles that look like ears extended out of my head.
It's an extension of your headphones.
Yeah, I got.
Well, that will do it for this edition of the Ragin' Marks Wrestling Podcast. Thank you for tuning in as always. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. For Rampage Ramsey, Ravishing Randy, signing off.
Oh, ooh, not it. I don't know where my mouse is. Don't know where my mouse is at, man. I swear to God.